Ladies and gentlemen, be here in a couple of hours, 9:15 p.m. I'll have a live stream on this channel. We'll talk about this and other topics, but this is very important. Now, if you look at the segment prior to this one, okay, I talk about Donald Trump's lawsuit against Hillary Clinton, James Comey, and others. The Department of Justice is trying to remove James Comey from Trump's lawsuit, and McCabe and Strzok also, and other people, and other government officials, saying, well, they were working within their official capacity as government officials, therefore they shouldn't be, there's a specific law that protects them. I explain that they were all fired for various breaches of protocol, dereliction of duty, a whole bunch of accusations from the Department of the DOJ. Okay, so Rosenstein, who was number 2 at the DOJ, fired Comey. He wrote a letter explaining how Comey broke guidelines, rules, regulations in basically covering up the Clinton email probe. You cannot have top secret intelligence on private servers. It is impossible to transfer top secret intelligence onto private servers, which is what Clinton did. Now, if you watch this channel, you know I want a Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024. I want a redo of 2016. Obviously, I think Trump would defeat Clinton again, but I want to see that take place. Or Clinton DeSantis. But she did commit crimes. Comey covered them up. That's obvious. You cannot, if you are a national security expert, okay, and you think it's not a national security issue to have servers running outside of the United States government with top secret and special access program intelligence and classified data somehow transferred onto those private servers, you know nothing about national security and nobody should ever listen to you. Anyway, that is a crime. It's a crime to do. It doesn't matter if she was allowed to do so. The people who enabled her committed crimes as well. That being said, Comey was fired. Okay? Strzok was also. So was McCabe. Strzok said, we'll stop Trump in a text. And other issues with Strzok. Then you have McCabe, who they all utilized the Steele dossier, and McCabe also lied under oath numerous times. I talk about the Steele dossier in the segment prior to this one, but I want to read you what the Durham probe did to help further Trump's lawsuit. Now, the Durham probe special counsel will have parallel investigations in the House and the Senate. Jim Jordan, James Comer are not only going to investigate Hunter and impeach Joe Biden, but there's going to be numerous investigations pertaining to this issue, the Durham probe special counsel. Here you have the reason people vote for Trump, despite the apoplectic outrage from his detractors in media and D.C. and politics. So Hillary Clinton personally approved plan to share Trump-Russia allegation with the press in 2016, campaign manager says. Okay, you have Robbie, Mook, and Mark Elias pointing the finger at Clinton. Hillary Clinton personally approved her campaign plans in fall 2016 to share information with a reporter about an uncorroborated alleged service. So when it's a baseless claim made against Trump, it's uncorroborated. We just don't know. It hasn't been corroborated yet. When Trump makes a baseless claim, it's, oh my God, the sky is falling. How dare he do this? It's baseless. This is the end of democracy. It has nothing to do with being uncorroborated yet. It's, oh my God, it's been refuted, completely debunked, and the rebuttal is published in the New York Times or Washington Post, and therefore Trump should never have made the claim ever in his life, and he should be ashamed and embarrassed forever. When they utilize a dossier purchased by Clinton or absurd Alpha Bank allegations that state that Trump was communicating with a private server, that, by the way, Jake Sullivan and Clinton tweeted out, and that wasn't against Twitter guidelines and protocols. Notice how they never got suspended for tweeting false information. The purveyors of mis or disinformation will use that because let's just be algorithmically sensitive here or friendly. The purveyors, the people who worship, the people who spread the most mis or disinformation, okay, are the ones who were so horrified and concerned and worried that people will believe something that Trump says that's not accurate. But here, She shared information with a reporter about an uncorroborated alleged server back channel between Trump and a top Russian bank. Her former campaign manager testified. She was feeding false, derogatory information, feeding this information to journalists. Okay, this is the epitome of what Democrats claim Trump is all about. They've convinced themselves that he's the embodiment of deception, Trump. They've stated that he's a leader of a cult. I mean, why else would anyone vote for him? Because his policies worked. Record low unemployment, record low Black and Latino unemployment, wages, real wages up. We have not only inflation that's 9.1%, we had inflation 2% with Trump. And don't bring up the last year of his tenure because that was Andrew Cuomo and Democratic governors gleefully tanking their economy and then getting an Emmy to do so. Cuomo did. But anyway, Trump negotiated the Doha Agreement, brought Americans home from never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts, and Biden completely botched it. It called for a May 1st, 2021 withdrawal. May 1st, 2021. Not whenever mashed potato brains decided, and then he used our mortal enemies there to help evacuate people. So it was completely haphazard. He had no plan at all. But see, again, that was a policy. That was something that his foreign policy, that was something he was able to accomplish, Trump, which is why I'm voting for him. That is not an example of a cult member voting for some kind of charismatic individual or whatever, like deceptive, manipulative individual. It's an example of somebody voting for a politician who does good things. It was good to reverse U.S. foreign policy, Lincoln Project foreign policy. That was a good thing to do. Okay? That's why you vote for Trump. That's why it's a moral imperative to vote for Trump. And that's why we're seeing that, talk about fitness for office, mashed potato brains is definitely not fit for the Oval Office or maybe any office. But you have an issue, ladies and gentlemen, with the Durham probe special counsel proving Trump, like his lawsuit, who knows if his lawsuit is going to, he might have to issue another lawsuit when we learn more with the Steele dossier trial on October 11th. So the Steele subsource is going to be, the trial is going to be held on October 11th. And you have to ask yourself, well, why is this so important? He didn't get the conviction. If people say, well, he didn't get a conviction of Sussman, well, nobody knew who Michael Sussman was, and he's very, very low on the rank of influential people within all of this. He was just a cog in a system of people that set up and framed Trump. So it's not like the conviction not happening tarnishes the Durham probe special counsel. It doesn't, because the Durham probe is about, initially at this point right now, before Republicans take over the House and Senate, the Durham probe is about gathering and revealing as much information as possible. This was the first time, ladies and gentlemen, that in a court of law, Clinton's top attorney and campaign manager pointed a finger at her, saying that she spread false information. She gave false information. That's CNN. And she gave information she knew to be false. How do we know? Because she paid for it. She paid for this information. She paid for people, just like there was a third-party tech firm to say the DNC emails were hacked by another country to inform you that Bernie Sanders was cheated. By the way, when they say that another country interfered, or Trump wants another country to interfere, the interference is a euphemism. When they say interference, it's a euphemism for finding out the corruption within the Democratic Party. That means interference. The Steele dossier is not interference, according to them, because it's a bunch of lies about Trump. How could that interfere in the election? How could the Washington Post interfere with a hot mic? They did not care about Attorney General Loretta Lynch meeting with Bill Clinton, which was pertinent and much more relevant to 2016 than a hot mic. So did the Washington Post interfere in our election? Did all of media interfere in our election utilizing a dossier that was compiled with help from government officials in Moscow, by the way? They literally purchased a dossier compiled by people within that country. And so, was that interference? No. The whole thing with, ladies and gentlemen, is that the more we find out from the Durham probe special counsel, the more the easier it is for Trump to sue these people outside, to sue these people in court, because they did conspire against Trump. And they were not apolitical. They were very political. They picked a political side. And so we're finding that out right now. We're finding that out. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe to this channel. Be here for the live stream at 9:15 p.m. Pacific. Thank you so very much. Be here at 9:15 p.m. Pacific.